And with that being said, we're going to talk about this game. Wolves 0, Chelsea 0. I tried to write notes for this game, but I don't have a lot. I really don't, because I was actually watching the game between City and Newcastle while this one was going on. So I was very distracted. And Chelsea dropped points again. No goals scored. No goals. But I have to say that they did look the better team in the second half. Wolves did have their moments where they put Chelsea under the squeeze. But all in all, Wolves were very defensive, very compact, held their shape very, very well, and just frustrated the hell out of Chelsea, who weren't that creative on the day either. 8 shots at goal, 1 on target. They had a lot of the ball in 64%, passed the ball very well, but that's pretty much all I could say about the Chelsea performance. It was a atypical Chelsea performance that, we've seen on the Tuchel, where they have been scoring and being very good in defense, but lately I don't know what's gotten into Chelsea, man. I really don't know. Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea actually did not want to play this game, so let's mention that. But that is no excuse to join, right? They didn't want to play the game because he feels as if his team wasn't at full strength with the whole COVID situation going on. But look, man, I think right now it's who's best adapting to the circumstances, if I'm being completely real. I know other teams are not playing because they have COVID outbreaks at their club, but if Chelsea had enough players to feature, why not? You see what I'm saying? Why not? City had enough. Liverpool had enough. Wolves had enough. Arsenal. Leeds. Look at Leeds. They're not really ravaged by the COVID virus, a few COVID cases, but they are ravaged by injuries and they still had to turn out. You see what I'm saying? They still had to turn up and play. So I don't think Chelsea could come up with any type of excuses here, because when I look at the team, right? When I look at the team, let's take a look at the lineups here. Not many things to really talk about, right? To be honest, I didn't watch every kick of the game. As I said, the game was playing simultaneously as a City game. But what I saw was a frustrated Chelsea team. Jose Sa did have to come up with a big save. I could remember a few, decisive moments. But apart from that, nothing really to talk about, man. Seriously. Mendy wasn't tested enough. Sa wasn't tested enough. It was just a scrappy outfit. Scrappy game. Pardon me. So, look. Man for man, Chelsea still better than Wolves. Still. Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta. Marcos Alonso and N'Golo Kante came back in and he looked very good. Helped Chelsea to keep a clean sheet. Something that they haven't been doing recently. Trevor Chalobah had to play in the midfield on the day. Reece James, Pulisic, Mount, Hakim Ziyech. And look at the Wolves team. You see what I'm saying? Look at the Wolves team. The game isn't being played on paper, but you know what I'm saying. Podence, I could remember scoring a goal. He did score a goal that was chalked off because Raul Jimenez was offside. He didn't touch the ball, but he was involved in a play. And as far as I could tell, Wolves almost beat Chelsea on the day. You see what I'm saying? They almost beat Chelsea. And that goal came in the 14th minute, and that was chalked off by VAR. Leander Dendoncker had a headed chance. That was a brilliant ball played in. Dendoncker, you have to score. And he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that was their only shot on target. You had to score. So Wolves probably deserved the 3 points if you ask me, man. The only shot that Chelsea had on target was a Pulisic shot that was saved by Jose Sa. That's it. That's all I have here for my notes. My notes is very patchy, but that's all I could have mustered up. It wasn't the most entertaining of games. But Wolves have not been that entertaining to watch this season, but they have been very, very resolute in the way they've gone about their work. They did go through some tricky periods where had a lot of injury problems, and first 3 games I could recall they lost, even though they didn't play too badly, but they have really pulled things back this season, man. Woo! Big up to Wolves. Big up to Wolves. As a City fan, Wolves, I just want to take the time to say thank you. Thank you, bro. You see what I'm saying? 7 wins, 4 draws, 7 losses so far this season. The problem remains the goal scoring for Wolves, only 13, but their defense is even better than Liverpool's defense now, and they do now have the 3rd best defense in the league behind Chelsea and Manchester City. But in terms of goal scoring, Wolves about 2nd to last in terms of goal scoring. They haven't been look, the only teams that have scored more lesser goals than Wolves, Norwich City. Norwich City, Burnley the same amount, Brighton the same amount, and no, actually only Norwich. Wolves only got 13 goals. Brighton and Burnley got 14. That's the problem for Wolves. But when you play against teams like Chelsea, I think they'll take a point, man. They really take a point. So look, just to show how good Wolves have been, right? And I'll talk about how bad Chelsea have been as well. Just to show how good Wolves have been. 0-0 against Chelsea, 1-0 win against Brighton, a 1-0 loss against City, and a 1-0 loss against Liverpool. Those are the only 2 goals Wolves have conceded going back 7 games now. This is absolutely ridiculous. But then again, the problem, they're not scoring any. You see what I'm saying? They've only scored 1 goal in their last 7, which is nuts when you think about it. 2 actually. 2 goals in their last 7, 2 goals conceded. This is nuts. This is nuts. This is nuts. But look, this is good as well, because if they continue doing this, they'll pick up the odd 1-0 win. They pick up the draw, and they only need 15 more points to get to safety. I think they'll get to safety, and they'll just look to work on fresher goals, and that's getting into Europe, whether it's the Conference League or whether it's the Europa League. So, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff if you ask me. For Chelsea, for this one, we need a visual. We definitely need a visual. Let's get a visual on what Chelsea have done so far across the last couple games, right? 0-0 against Wolves, unacceptable. The 1-1 against Everton, unacceptable seeing the way Everton were playing, right? Conceding that goal to a rookie with the ball in and a rookie with the goal. They did manage to beat Leeds, but barely, right? Rudiger won 2 penalties, barely. Zenit the 3-3, lost to West Ham. So across the last 5 games there, Chelsea only picked up 1 win. 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss. You go further back, they did beat Watford, drew to United, beat Juventus, beat Leicester, but look at that, drew to Burnley. You go further up, where's the loss to City? Where is it at? Where is it at? The loss to City is right there. These things are going to come back to haunt you, Chelsea. I know you've got good results in between, the 7-0 against Norwich, but you got to beat these teams. These teams are teams you're supposed to beat, seeing that you brought in Lukaku for 100 mil. You brought in Saul, he's been a waste, if you ask me. You got Werner Havertz from last season. You got Pulisic, Ziyech. The list goes on. Chelsea is supposed to be doing better than this. I know the team was depleted for the game, but I listed the players who started the game, and if we take a look at the bench, Chelsea had more than enough weapons to beat Wolves. Look at the bench. They could have only named 6 on the bench, But you got Barkley, you got Saul, you got Kovacic coming back from injury, you got Malang Sarr. You got more than enough players to beat Wolves. And even with that bench, it's a better bench than Wolves. Who does Wolves have on their bench there? Adama, Trincao, Semedo? These guys haven't really played anything. You see what I'm saying? It's nice to see Bruno Jardel fit again. Don't have to put him on the injury list in the future previews. But look, man, Chelsea, you ain't got no excuses. No excuses at all. You guys won the Champions League. The fans hyped Chelsea up. I give Chelsea a lot of respect at the beginning of the season, seeing that they had such a deep squad. But what's happened to that deep squad? And guys, personally though, I know people may say, nah, Dom, you can't look at it like that. But it's weird that Chelsea are having so many problems with injuries and COVID situation. Are players not being responsible enough? Think about what I'm saying. Are players not being managed enough in terms of the workload? Certain players. You see what I mean? Chilwell out for maybe the rest of the season. Kante has been struggling. Jorginho has been struggling. Lukaku as well. Havertz. But the thing is, when Lukaku was fit again, he wasn't even playing. And then he got coronavirus, and I show you guys a picture of Lukaku at a bar. Like, I don't get this. I really don't get this, though. I don't get it. I don't get the fact that coronavirus is still around, and people are acting like it's not. People are acting like it's not around. Hence the reason for all these cases of coronavirus, because everybody's acting like it's not happening. No one's wearing masks. No one's social distancing. Players are hugging fans in the freaking crowd when they score. What else do you expect? Please explain to me, what else do you expect? So I don't want to hear the excuses about you're depleted and you can't play. If you have enough fit players, you got to play. You got to play. Let's see if the league do get postponed. It could hurt you or it could help you. It could hurt you or it could help you. For Chelsea, I think it's the helping part. Chelsea, you need some help right now. You need some help big time. Big time. So, look, I ain't got nothing else to talk about in terms of this game, but it's the choices that the manager is making that affect the outcome, if you ask me. It's the choices. Pulisic ain't no striker. But what are you going to do? You see what I mean? What are you going to do? But it's the choices, because I'm pretty sure there's youngsters that could be called on as well. It's the choices. If you don't want to call on the youngsters from the academy or whatnot, it's up to you, man. I'm just putting it out there. But good job by Wolves picking up that point. They have been a very gritty outfit so far this season. And they continue to impress under Bruno, large and in charge. So, with that being said, for Wolves, you just check the standings right there. They're 8th, 25 points. Form has been so-so lately, but still resolute, picking up some decent wins, decent results. For Chelsea, they've dropped off big time. They've fallen further and further behind Manchester City in top position. City had to gain ground at first when Chelsea started dropping points, right? Chelsea were top. They dropped to second, and then I think they dropped to third straight away. And now the gap between City and Chelsea is now stretched to 6. And that could continue to stretch. Could stretch to 8, and then to 10, then to 12, and then its title chances goodbye. Goodbye. And I mean, hasta la vista, baby. So for Wolves, next game scheduled to be against Watford this coming Sunday. Then they got Arsenal, United, Sheffield in the cup, Southampton. Interesting fixtures there. And for Chelsea, let's see how it gets. Let's see what they have. They have Brentford this week in the cup. Let's see if that one goes ahead. Aston Villa is going to be a very tricky game. Brighton is going to be a tricky game as well. And this game against Liverpool is going to be a tricky one because we don't know if Salah Mane is going to be available. We don't even know if the league is going to go on. We don't know. So let's see what happens here. Let's see what transpires. So that's my thoughts on that one. 0-0 for Chelsea. They dropped points once again. Dropped points last week. Drop points this week again. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that when you have Liverpool and City picking up points like there's no tomorrow.